I used Debian 12 for 30 days, and here's how it went.
Firstly, installing Debian was really easy, although not very fast. I then booted into Debian, and it worked perfectly fine most of the time, which was refreshing after my last experiences with the last two distros, Alpine Linux and KDE Neon, which were really bad, especially KDE Neon, which was my most recent challenge. While it worked well, there was some setup required for the best experience. Firstly, I selected to make a separate root account, and because of that, my user account didn't have sudo privileges, so I quickly set those up with a few commands, logged out and back in, which I didn't know I had to do, and then my user account had sudo privileges. I then installed NeoFetch like any true Linux user would, Flatpak and FlatHub for more and newer programs, and installed some programs I often use like Discord, Warp, Parabolic, and more. Then I downloaded and installed a full light theme for GNOME, as I personally love light theme, and it looks really good for the most part, other than a few things like menus looking a bit weird. I was using the Flatpak version of Discord, which works perfectly fine, but it does have a few bugs, like for example not showing the game you're currently playing in your status, which really isn't much of a problem, but just a minor inconvenience. But I wanted to try out the deb version of Discord, so I uninstalled the Flatpak version and downloaded the deb file. It also worked well for the most part, and didn't have the game status bug, but it would often show the dreaded, "It's your lucky day, there's a new update" pop-up, and no Discord, it is not my lucky day when I get this pop-up. This is a problem that the Flatpak version doesn't have, and it got really annoying manually installing new Discord updates, which came pretty often, so I went back to the Discord Flatpak. Then I replaced GNOME Terminal with the libadwaita terminal KGX, or GNOME Console, which is much simpler and in my opinion more beautiful. I also enabled non-free repositories for codecs and a wider range of software. Later down the line, I wanted to use a more modern music player, so I replaced GNOME Music and Rhythmbox, which were both installed, with a simple and beautiful libadwaita music player, Amberall. Amberall has a really nice and easy to use interface, and is overall a joy to use. Regarding video players, Totem always has issues with codecs and audio, although it can usually play MP4 files fine, so I often resort to Clapper, a simple libadwaita video player that always worked for me and played all videos, including videos from an iPhone, but for some reason it got an update and now it can't play those videos, so I tried VLC, and it's fine, it gets the job done, but it's way too old looking and cluttered and just has too many options for my liking.
While Debian worked well for the most part, it had a few issues, although not many, so let's take a look at those. The only noticeable ones I had were freezing issues, but they didn't happen often.
Okay, so I tried playing 0AD here, and Debian completely froze. I'm not sure what happened. Well, it didn't completely freeze, like I can move my cursor, but like I can't really like escape 0AD, like Control Q doesn't work, Alt F4 does not work, there's really no way, escape doesn't work, so this is a weird situation. I guess I'm just going to have to restart, unless I can switch workspaces. Like, print screen doesn't work, so I guess GNOME itself is frozen. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just 0AD. But I guess I'm gonna have to restart my computer, so I'll do that. Okay, about 2 weeks in here with Debian, while recording my Pativi review, Debian completely froze. Like, the cursor works completely fine, but I can't drag on anything, can't click anything. Also, if I try to get to a TTY prompt, Control Alt F1 or something, that doesn't work either, so I'm just gonna have to hard reboot, like so, and just turn it back on. Now this is very rare, it took 2 weeks for this to happen. Well, it did happen with 0AD once, a few times, that one time, but it's a very rare occasion.
Also, Debian doesn't always perform very well, and it can be slow and laggy at times. So overall, Debian has been a really stable and good experience. When I use Debian, I forget that I'm using Debian completely, which is a great thing because Debian just gets out of my way, letting me get my work done. Basically, other than the initial setup and the occasional freeze, it just works. It does have older software and GNOME 43, which is pretty old, but that's just the way Debian is built, and that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Next, I will be using Ubuntu 24.04 LTS for 30 days, so stick around for that.
Subscribe if you like my content, and join the PenguinByte Discord community with the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, see you next time.